Hey, how's your heart today? Have you ever been abandoned without even knowing why? The kind of abandonment that doesn't come with explanations or closure, just silence. Cold and merciless. You did nothing wrong. You loved, you cared, you stayed. And yet, suddenly, someone you trusted simply vanished. To them it might have been just a choice. Nothing serious. But to your heart, it was the end of the world. In that moment, you stopped being a person and started being a question. Why wasn't I enough? That's how it begins. A wound so invisible that no one else notices, but so deep it rearranges the way you see yourself. The child inside, you innocent, unguarded, still hoping for warmth, learned to protect itself by shutting down, by staying silent, by whispering. Don't ask for too much. Don't need too much. Don't be too much. And without realizing it, you carried that silence into adulthood. You smiled while your chest ached. You laughed while your heart begged for comfort. You built walls and convinced yourself they were homes. Abandonment isn't just a memory. It becomes a seed planted in the soil of your soul. And like a vine, it grows quietly, wrapping itself around your every relationship, every dream, every attempt at happiness. You stop asking, will they stay? And begin whispering, why would anyone stay? When love finally shows up at your door, you hesitate before opening it. You hold joy in your hands, but instead of embracing it, you doubt it. You whisper to yourself, do I really deserve this? That hesitation is not a flaw, it is the echo of every goodbye you never understood. And yet, the truth is unshakable. You are worthy. No soul was born into this world just to suffer. You have the same right as anyone else to live fully, to love deeply, and to be seen as you truly are. But scars don't let go easily. When someone shows you affection, you feel grateful, but also guilty. You think, they're giving me more than I deserve. And so you try harder, bend more, pour yourself out until you're empty just to prove you're worth keeping. You end up carrying the entire weight of the relationship on your shoulders. And when you collapse, the truth whispers back. If you're the only one holding it together, maybe it isn't worth holding at all. Some people will look at your tears and scoff. Why so weak? They'll never know that behind your grown-up face lives a child who is never comforted. That child cried alone in the dark, hoping someone would notice, until they eventually learned that silence was safer than reaching out. You don't hide your feelings because you're fragile. You hide them because you forgot how to let them out. You're not closed off because you're cold. You're closed off because it was the only way to survive. Time softens the sting, but it never erases it. You grow older, build careers, make families, laugh at parties, but in the quiet of night, when no one else is watching, the loneliness still crawls back into your chest. The world may blame you for being distant, call you hard to read, accuse you of being aloof. But those walls around you aren't arrogance, they're armor. They're the invisible shield you forged the first time you learned that being open could cost you everything. And yet, you still long for someone who sees past the walls. Someone who doesn't sink with you, but instead reaches down and pulls you out of the mud. You stay quiet not because you don't want love, but because you don't know how to ask for it. You don't demand. You don't show what you truly need, not because you don't feel it, but because you fear rejection. You fear being seen as a burden. But listen, your heart is not an obligation. It is a gift. And not everyone deserves it. It is not your job to shrink yourself so others feel comfortable. It is not your duty to beg for crumbs of love when your soul deserves the banquet of real connection. The cruelest trick of abandonment is how it distorts your vision. Even when you're breaking down, you still pretend to be fine. You laugh when you want to scream. You carry others while you're crumbling inside. You convince yourself you're a burden. But you are not useless. You are not unworthy. You are simply seeing yourself through the cracked lens of old wounds. And a lens is not the truth. It can be removed. Healing is not pretending the wound never existed. Healing is turning to that child inside, the one who still trembles, still hides, and whispering, I will never abandon you again. It is learning to stand in front of the mirror and say, I am enough. Not because someone stayed, but because I choose myself. It is reclaiming every piece of you that was stolen and saying, this is mine, this is me, and I am worthy of love, of peace, of light. You don't need to beg for love. You don't need to bleed just to prove your worth. You are not a shelter for those who want to come and go as they please. You are not a resting place for those who see your heart as temporary comfort. You are a soul. You are fire. You are a universe filled with depth and brilliance. And if today you feel like you are at the bottom, if you feel like you're drowning in silence, remember this: there is still light waiting for you to rise. You don't have to hide your scars. You don't have to deny the broken versions of yourself. Because those broken pieces, they are proof of survival. Proof that even in the darkest nights, you found a way to keep breathing. They are not signs of weakness, they are maps of your becoming. So believe this: you are enough, you are worthy, and you can shine brighter than you ever imagined. Let no one, absolutely no one, make you forget that. This is Mind Light, where you awaken the power you thought was lost.